Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world. Welcome to my world.
Today we're going to be talking about your license, registrations, driving in general, and a couple of terms, motor vehicle versus automobile, those different terms. I want you guys to also subscribe, and I'm tripping because I do music also, so check out my channel on some of my music and like, comment. But I'm getting so much love on the videos where I teach different concepts of law. So give me some of that love on my music. Check it out, Give me some love on that. But anyway, let's get into this. I kept fighting with myself about, should I make this video? No, yes, no. But then I got pulled over the other day. Actually, I didn't get pulled over. A cop passed me, turned around, and hit his lights. And I kept going. I wasn't but maybe a block from the house. So it's 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning. I kept on going, came on to the house. I didn't even stop. He told me, I can get you for eluding the police. Okay, well, I'm going 25 miles an hour, 30 miles an hour, so I'm not eluding anything. So anyway, he says, stay in the car. Then he comes up and he says, well, I smell liquor. And I'm like, you don't smell liquor. I just got out the bed. It's 2:30 in the morning. I'm actually still in my nightgown. So instantly telling a lie. Then he makes me and my guest get out of the automobile. And he started searching. I said, that's an illegal search. You don't have a warrant to do that. Went all through my stuff. So even after I told him that I knew the law, he continued to do an illegal search. So didn't find anything, of course, but we're in a Wake County now. He took the little small bottle of vodka that my passenger or my friend had and poured it out. That was so disrespectful. He couldn't find anything at the end of the night. It was an hour standing out there trying to figure out, what are you doing, dude? You don't have any probable cause, nothing. Ended up giving me a seatbelt charge, which I'm going to also go to court and fight. And I'm also doing a citizen's complaint against him for harassment and extortion. So the universe will make you do I made me come want to do this video now. So I want to teach you some things where I knew some certain things. When I got out of the car, what I should have done was also took the keys out and locked the doors. But I was so frustrated and just, I was so upset. That's one thing that I knew but didn't do. So let's just jump right into some things. Rosenblatt versus California State Board of Pharmacy. A license is a permit. It is for consideration to a person, a firm, or a corporation to pursue some occupation or to carry out some business which is subject to police power. So a license is something that you need to operate a business. So are you operating your vehicle or your automobile to do business? Okay, let's get into San Francisco versus Liverpool. Licenses are for the conduct of businesses, profession, occupation, the exercise of which is a privilege. Licensing is a special privilege to do something that would not be entitled to do without a license. Okay? So Washington RCW. Driver licenses are for commercial use, for doing business, making a profit, wages. Do you use your automobile to make wages or profits? Are you an Uber or taxi? Are you an 18-wheeler driver or something like that where you need a license, where you're making money on the roads? If not, why do we need a license? We're not conducting a business in our automobiles. Let's get into, there's a commercial driver's license. You can tell on your back of your license it has a Class A, Class B, Class C. Class C is for commercial driving, is your commercial driving code. So if you have a code, those things go back to relating to business. People versus Henderson. A license, the permission by competent authority to do an act without permission would be illegal. So it would be illegal for you to be an Uber or a taxi or something like that where you have a passenger in your vehicle making money over the highways. But if you are just going to Walmart, you are just a private citizen, you don't conduct business over the highway making money, why do we need a license? According to these rulings, you do not. Okay, there's a lot of things that we're doing, just giving money back into the system, which has already been ruled out that we don't have to do. And that includes your registration, your plates, paying taxes every year on the same thing. If I get a tag, why I got to keep paying taxes on it, getting it renewed every year? It's the same tag. I mean, what is that? Anyway, let's get back into it. A City of Salina versus Wisden. The driver's license, its rules, regulations are by legal definition a title of nobility. And nobility is when you're granting privileges to citizens. We already had the right to operate or have you make sure I'm using the right words, because they mean different things in lawful and legal situations. And check out my other video on lawful and legal. But also, so when you're in your automobile, and we already had before, say 1930, something 1930s, you could get in your automobile and drive. You didn't have to have a license. Now all of a sudden everybody has to have a license. They're changing our rights into privileges. Article 1, Section 10 of the U.S. Constitution prohibits the states from granting titles of nobility. The court lacks the subject matter jurisdiction to enforce upon the defendant titles of nobility. Right there. That is a claim that you could use. They're making us use these licenses, and when we don't, we get locked up, which is also illegal, because if you have not hurt anyone or created any damages, then you have not committed a crime. Okay, go back to legal and lawful definitions. Motor vehicle used for commercial purposes, transport passengers or property. So that's the definition of a motor vehicle. But if you have an automobile, it might be the same item, but these definitions mean something. So your automobile is used for personal business, leisure. It's not for profit. So you're not driving or operating a motor vehicle. You have an automobile, and you got to learn how to use these correct terms. A driver is one employed in conducting a coach, carriage, or motor vehicle. A traveler is one who passes from place to place for pleasure, business, health, or instruction. You are a traveler in an automobile, not a driver in a motor vehicle. City of Dayton versus DeBross, Ohio. Motor vehicle is a term different and broader than the word automobile. Automobile is recreational, not for a game. Delaware versus Prowse, 1979. A person driving an automobile cannot be stopped to see if she or he has a license. Why are you stopping me for that if I have not did anything to hurt anyone, cause any kind of damages? That's illegal for a police officer to do that. City Motor Vehicle Code. Private cars, vans, etc., not in commercial use for profit, are immune from registration fees. They are not commercial vehicles. Only commercial vehicles are paying anything that they're making profit for. So they should be paying for these fees, not us. Why are we paying registration fees when we're not using a commercial vehicle? They have turned us into these corporations or corporate citizens in order to make money off of us, even though we're not in using those titles. Bank of Boston versus Jones. Vehicles not used for commercial activity is a consumer good, and it is not a type of vehicle required to be registered. Again, vehicles not used for commercial activity is a consumer good. It's a type of vehicle not required to be registered. Hendricks versus Maryland, 1915. A state may restrict the use of its highways to drivers who have complied with the license, insurance, and registrations. And that right there means if you get the registrations, license, and the insurance, then you have complied, and then they can restrict what you do on their highways because you complied to it. But really, they're making us comply to it, because if we don't comply to it, then we're locked up for not complying. Okay. Comply means to agree to a wish, request, demand, conditions, and requirements, etc. It means to agree to. You comply, you go down there, you agree to it. I didn't agree to it one time, and I didn't have a registration tag, nothing. And I went to jail. And I stayed there for 11 days, and I lost 9 pounds. It was the worst. And when I tell you, because I knew a little bit of the law, they mistreated me. It was horrible. So even if you don't comply, you will be punished for it. I want you to know that. But I also wanted you to know, if enough of us knew this, and it wasn't just me, maybe we could change the system. But the entire system has to be broken down in order, totally broken down, for us to really regain our constitutional rights again. They're about to mandate this virus and make us take these things. Those are against our constitutional rights if we don't want to do them. And it's just horrible how we've been treated. I'm trying to get my board together so I can see. Now, so commercial motor vehicle is a term that does not include the following: a motor home used to transport a house or for non-business personal possessions and family members. It also is not for a recreational vehicle operated solely for personal use. So that's what we really have, are recreational automobiles. We're not operating them for commercial use or making money off of them. Okay, so according to commercial motor vehicle, the term commercial motor vehicle does not include the following, which is a motor home, which is to transport a house for non-business, personal possessions, or your family members. It also includes a recreational vehicle operated solely for personal use. So, a commercial vehicle, we are operating, or I don't even want to say the word operating because that goes back into a whole nother, these terms actually mean something, but we are in a recreational vehicle, not a commercial motor vehicle. So State versus Johnson, supervision of officials must exempt persons when the transportation is not on a commercial basis. They must exempt them from registration. Right there it's saying that they must exempt registration from anything that is not making money. We are not using our automobiles to make money over the highways. So why are we paying for registration fees? California versus Farley, 1971. Speeding, driving without a license, wrong plates, no plates, etc. are non-arrest offenses. You cannot be arrested for traffic violations. That is not true. According to this, you can't, but they will illegally arrest you, so don't get it twisted. I was arrested because I tested this out. I didn't have a license, I didn't have a plate, registrations, anything. I was just rolling, and it was cool for a minute because I was able to fight it in court. But once I went to another state and did it, and they handcuffed me, I wasn't able to fight it in the court or fight it with the judge and explain certain things that I knew. I was just locked up, and I was there for 11 days, lost 9 pounds, and they punished me poorly for just because I knew, and I was stating some of the things that I knew according to the law. And some of the officers didn't even know them. I don't think so. It was a horrible situation, so they're making us get these things, because if you don't, they're going to lock you up. And according to California versus Farley, 1971, that's an illegal arrest. You have not committed a crime. There's no blood, there's no injury, there's no person to actually take you to court and say, you harmed me. When they took me to court, I said, well, who did I hurt? Who did I injure? Who's actually taking me to court? I can't even call her a judge. She said the citizens of the state. Okay, well, what blood do you see? What injuries? What property have I damaged? Nothing. So and still kept me locked up. But right there, she knew that I knew something. She should have let me go home. But I was there for 11 days until someone was able to come and get me out. It was horrible. So let's get into this. Shear versus Cullen. For a crime to exist, there must be an injured party, some damages. Okay, boom, I just said. There's no crime if there's no injuries or no injured party. Texas Penal Code, the people can only commit common law crimes, not civil statute violations. And that's what traffic goes under. It's a statute violation. It's not a civil crime. So no, statutes, codes, ordinances are not laws. They are statutes and codes. Traffic citations are codes, not laws. Legal, but not lawful. Again, please check out my video on legal and the different definitions of legal and lawful. These terms mean different things in law. Article 6, the Supreme Clause. Officers of the United States must hold this document supreme over other laws, regulations, other codes, orders, and that is the Constitution, and it is supreme over everything else. It is supreme over these regulations, violations, codes, ordinances, and it's a million of them. But the Constitution overrides these things. So that's why when you say I have constitutional rights, that should right there instantly outrule these. Like I said, things are lawful, things are legal, but they're not lawful. Lawful is Constitution. Legal is they can legally lock you up. It doesn't mean it's lawful. They're doing illegal things. And taking our constitutional rights little by little by little, and we're giving them the right to take them because we are carrying our rights into privileges by going to get these licenses and these registrations, which according to the things that I've said in this video, we don't have to do. But they will lock us up if we don't do them. That's the 2020. That's the catch-22. It's crazy. Okay, so anyway, let's go into Owens versus Independence. Officers of the court have no immunity when violating a constitutional right from liability. They are deemed to know the law. And most times they don't know the law. And I'm like, how do people become officers when there's no class or there's nobody teaching them the law? I mean, you just come from high school and say, I want to be a police officer, boom, you're in. Like, there should be a step, a class, some courses, some college, something. That's just crazy to me. Coming to give somebody a gun and the power over the citizens, but you don't even know the law yourself, or even if you know the law, you still break it because maybe the officer who was searching my vehicle and I kept saying that's an illegal search, you don't have a warrant. Maybe he knew the law and still was going to break it. We're supposed to obey the law, but they don't. They're not supposed to. It's crazy. People versus Horton, 1971. The right of a citizen to drive on public streets with freedom from police interference unless engaging in suspicious conduct associated with criminality is a constitutional right and must be protected by the courts. So those roadblocks, point checks, and even like I said, in my case, when the police saw me, passed me, turned around, and then for what? Clicked on the lights. That's harassment, and that is against my constitutional right. I was not doing anything wrong. What is your problem? I just kept going on home. His lights was flashing, but I don't want you guys to do that. I'm just saying at that point I was like, I knew it was harassment and racial profiling. State versus Robinson, Atlanta, Georgia. Illegal arrest is an assault and battery. Okay, so I was illegally arrested, and a lot of people are, especially when I was arrested. It was so many people in there of a Spanish or that spoke Spanish dialect that didn't know the law, that was in there same like me, just locked up on traffic stuff, simple violating, not having a license. They don't just want you to write a ticket so you can go home and fight it or come up with the money. They lock you up and keep you in there for days because they're making money off of you while you are in there. And the system got to be broken down from inside out. It's like a worm. It's a virus. And in order for things to change, really everything's got to just die. It's just something serious really got to happen, or we're just going to continually be slaves. We're working, getting paid. What our money goes right back into the system. It's crazy. And for what? Let's go into Ross versus Quinn, California. No duty lies to apply for or possess a driver's license for personal travel and transportation, and one is not within the class of persons for whom it benefits. So why are we getting them? The duty lies, no duty lies to apply for a driver's license for personal travel. Yet we got to do it, because if we don't, they lock us up. Dickey versus Davis, 1915. The right of a citizen to travel upon the highway and to transport his property in ordinary life and business differs from one who makes the highway his place of business for private gain. And we're going to say private because that's your wages. That's how you're making your money. So we're saying taxes, Ubers, and 18-wheeler drivers and whoever else is making money on the highway. If you're, like I said, if you're just going to a doctor, getting up on the Walmart, what else you might do through the day? Going to work, to your own job. But you're not making money on the highway. You're just going from point A to point B. These people are on the highway making money all day. Say Uber got to be on the highway to make the money. A taxi got to be on the roads to make the money. So let's go into Rockenbrod versus Mullins, Utah. A state cannot impose restrictions on the acceptance of a license that will deprive the licensee his constitutional rights. Note, when you get a license, you turn your rights into privileges, and that's what they made us do. We already had the right to drive. Now we got privileges to drive. That's insane. And we got to pay for them too. We got to pay you for the privilege to drive. We got to pay to get tag, registrations, and insurance and license. We got to pay for these things. Chicago versus Collins. A right which is free and open to all is not subject to a license. Why is everybody getting a license? It was a right that everybody had. Now it's restricted to if you got to get a license to do it. But you're not making money, so why do you need a license? I'm still going back to the same thing because it's insane. Miller versus U.S. To make a claim of a constitutional right cannot be converted into a crime. Okay, but it is, because as soon as you start saying some of these things, and you start saying that's against my constitutional right. I got the right to travel without a license, or I have the right to not pay for registrations. I'm not making business on the highways. That's against my constitutional rights. Trust me, if you make the claim, you have the right to make the claim, and it cannot be converted into a crime according to Miller versus U.S. But I'm trying to tell you, when you got to stand up in front of the law and in front of these evil prosecutors and the whole system, even lawyers know this stuff. How do I know it? And they don't know it. But nobody's standing up for these principles or standing up for the citizens. So everything's about money, extortion, fraud, misrepresentation. I just go down the line. We are slaves to the system. That is this whole thing. So at traffic stops, just know your rights. You have the right to remain silent, say nothing. You also have the right to lock your doors when you get out of your vehicle. You have the right to refuse searches in your automobile. Do not consent to a search. And you know what? When the police officer searched my vehicle, he didn't ask. He just told us to get out and started searching. And I was like, wait, I looked, I'm like, oh, I ain't have a phone. I forgot to lock the door. So hold up. That's an illegal search. He just looked back and kept on. See, where's your warrant? Still kept looking. You know, it's just sad. You can always ask, am I free to go? They cannot hold you unless you comply. I was already at home. He could have just said, you made it safe. Nobody, when you saw me pull off the road into my own private property, instantly you should have just let me go. If told to get out of the car, of course, take your license, registration, and keys. Lock the door behind you. A traffic ticket is a bill. It's a claim. It's used to open up a claim against your straw man or your corporate name. So it's like, again, extortion. They're using these tactics to get money out of you, whether it's legal or lawful or not. That's behind it. They're trying to take your straw man. And look at my other video about your straw man and how it has been created and they use a summons to get you to court, and a summons is used to call in a ghost. You summons a ghost. Are you a ghost? But your straw man is. So when you stand up for your straw man, which is your all caps name on your bills, or who you represent in court, your all caps person, your straw man. Look this up or go to my other videos. It's your dead corporation, your dead corpse. When you go in, it's your ghost. That's why they're calling it. And when you go in and stand up for these, and stand in place for your, in place of your straw man, then you taking the charges on that straw man has created, or they created for your straw man to get money out of your straw man. They can only do business with another corporation, not a living human soul. So I always write on the ticket, that is not me. I'm a living being. My name is not in all caps. All caps is a dead corpse, like on a grave. Oh man, I break that ticket down so easy and so bad. It'd be like, ooh, they don't even want to just, they don't want to deal with people who they got to, who's going to put up a fight. And I always put up a fight, because I'm letting them know, please put me on the list of people that y'all don't fuck with. I'm tired. I'm not the one, but I really got time, and I don't bother giving you a fight, So anyway, I hope this video was helpful, and if we all stuck together and fought against the no license, no registrations, the tax, unless we are operating on the highways as a corporation or as a business, maybe we wouldn't have to keep paying these fees every year. But if it's like one or two people like me that's always standing up and trying to fight, and I'm going to jail and I'm trying to make a statement, it gets tiring. And it's just like, well, like I said, the whole system got to break down from inside, because I know I'm not the only one that knows this. Why are attorneys and lawyers, well, they working for the system too, so they getting paid to be silent and to be a part of the conspiracy. But anyway, again, I want you guys to check out my other videos, because I sing and I write music, and I'm a musician. So check out my some more of my other videos. Check out some of my music. Subscribe, like, comment, do all that beautiful things, and I will see you in my next video. Love and peace.